And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rosicle. I, of course, am one of the hosts of the channel. My name's Nathaniel, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Ashley. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, just take out the setup.
I didn't mean to.
No, it's fine. The whole camera comes crashing down. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. We're back with the Commander deck unboxing. Our goal is to make these less than like 40 minutes, so we're going to jump into this as fast as we can. But we've been working through Duskmorn. This is like the 9th or 10th Commander deck unboxing on the channel for what it's worth.
I think so. I don't know. There's
exciting.
a playlist of them, y'all.
Well, there is, but we released the last one. Okay, by the way, the last one before this is Jump Scare, but we're recording this before Jump Scare is uploaded. So the last one uploaded is Miracle Worker, which up until today, which is like a month that it's been out, it did not have a description.
No!
Yeah, no. I bet there's a lot of videos out there that don't have a description that we just never caught, but that one didn't.
If someone wants to go check us.
I went back to it to go pull the one for Jump Scare, and it didn't have one. So then I went back to Grave Danger, which did have one.
Oh no!
That I think
check our
was
YouTube
like
studio.
And then Grave Danger was like glad for it to be our 7th unboxing.
God.
So then, okay, no, so this is 10th, right? Because then that makes Miracle Worker 8th, Jump Scare, which I haven't done the description of yet, 9th, and then this one will be 10th. So this is our 10th unboxing on the channel, which is crazy. We do not own 10 Commander decks.
We don't.
We own like
45.
Don't.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we've also never taken one apart yet.
Not Death Toll being at 110.
Yeah, no, it did pretty good.
And Miracle Worker at 76.
They both did pretty good. You
can tell how little I have actually looked at this.
Nailed it with the thumbnails and stuff, though. Yeah, that's because we were busy during those times in life. So, yeah. Hopefully,
we've been busy for months.
Here's the thing. We've been recording like crazy. This is not the way to get a short video. But we've been recording like crazy so that hopefully we're actually... I'm saying this, fingers crossed, that we have been back on the daily video grind. Because that is something that like we've worked really hard to get back on. We're recording this... I don't even know if I want to reveal when we're recording this. We're recording this a while from when this probably releases. Just because we've had a night where we can really edit and upload and record and all sorts of things.
Yes, because we have graduated, but we still work a summer job and we're moving in about a month.
Are relatively really busy, but they were significantly more busy like 2 to 3 weeks ago because Ashley was still full-time working.
Yes, I was.
And
full-time
I
working.
had pneumonia.
Yeah, so in case you're wondering why, like, we said, oh yeah, we'll be back after graduation, and then you saw the graduation post and the engagement post, and then you went, wait a minute, why aren't they back? I was still teaching full-time, and Nathaniel came down with pneumonia for 3 weeks, so we were having a good time.
Genuinely, I was, like, over 100-degree fever sick for, like, 3 weeks. It was bad.
It was bad.
And then she was working full-time for, like, a week and a half of that still.
So then I was trying to take care of him,
that's when I was at, like,
terrible.
my worst, was by the time you weren't full-time, which, thank goodness you were able to help take care of me, but... It was a rough time.
Roscoe's been going through it.
Here we go. Endless Punishment, black and a red. This is by far the most popular Duskmorn deck. That being said, black-red, a.k.a... Do you know it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's got it, y'all. It's right on the tip of her tongue.
It's got a lot of consonants in it.
Does it?
Oh no. Oh no, where'd it go?
I wouldn't know if I'd call it Rakdos.
There's a lot of consonants.
R-A-K-D-O-S.
Yeah.
Rakdos. Yeah, I mean,
Rakdos.
it's got R.
It's got a lot of hard consonants.
R, K, D, and S. So it's got 4.
It just has some of the harder consonants.
All right, sure.
Okay, you know what? As a teacher of children.
Anyways, not the biggest fan of Rakdos as a color scheme,
no.
But also don't own a lot of Commander decks that are purely Rakdos as a color scheme because we don't love it. But that being said, we also had a really bad thing where we were buying like all the Commander decks when they were coming out. We're probably still kind of in that time period. It's just we don't give a crap about Final Fantasy, so we don't really need to buy those decks. But we're gonna crack into this thing in a moment. But before we do that, we will read Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls, which is, of course, the commander that comes in this deck. It is 2 and a Rakdos. For a legendary creature, Elder Demon, flying, it has pay 2 life ward, which is, I mean, I guess it's not bad, but You pay 2 life, so that's nice. And then it says, whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, put a +1/+1 counter on Valgavoth, Horror of Souls, and draw a card. Namely, if they pay the 2 life to do something against it with Ward, so they try to remove it, that will trigger his ability if it's the first time that they've lost life during each of their turns. So it should be noted, you're going to get to draw a card. So really it says like, Ward, pay 2 life, but then you get to draw a card, which is pretty nice. Let's crack into this bad boy, because we can.
As we should.
It's not quite, I mean, I'm like tempted to like crack a pack, make a joke when I say crack into this bad boy, but it's not a crack a pack video. This is, okay, look, this side is way harder to open than the top, but I stand by the fact that it like, okay, yeah, I'm taking it off the table. You guys will be able to see it in a second. Just bear with us. Ashley, entertain them.
Ah!
That was...
Sorry. I'm working on the thumbnails and stuff for old school things so that we can stop being so behind.
Ba-ba-da-ba, we got it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is
Do not pull it. I'm like, be careful.
Skadoosh.
This one's a color. This box is a color. Did you notice that?
They were too. Remember the Miracle Worker one was like all white and purpley and stuff?
Oh, was it?
So, yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't remember. That's so long ago, sweetie.
Anyways, we've got locked doors and whatnot for all of your locked door needs that we're definitely not going to use.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Then we've got the deck itself, which, I mean, this is kind of nicely presented, I won't even lie. We will read the Duskmorn, like, little lore sheet. We do read the lore sheet. This is trash. You know what to do with it. Throw it at an Ashley. I didn't actually throw it at her for what it's worth. I'll throw this at her, though. I didn't throw that at her, either.
I really thought he was going to, y'all.
I believe that. We do have our we do have our arch enemy cards, which we also read for these. For those of you that don't know, arch enemy is a special format where it becomes a 3v1, but every once in a while you get the effect of the scheme, which makes it easier for the arch enemy to win.
Yes.
And last but certainly not least, we have our, I always make fun of it, but deck box that I store all of my decks in, basically.
You can't really make fun of it.
I shouldn't really make fun of them. That being said, I can stand by the fact that this one looks pretty epic.
Yeah,
for a just standard little like cardstock box. The Valgavoth like wraps around the sides because he's the giant like moth thing. So that's pretty cool. Neat. Not gonna lie, loving the box. I've seen this a bunch because I know like 6 people that have bought this deck. Shout out to Tyler, who probably won't ever see this, but you have an upgraded version of this unless you got rid of it.
That'd be terrible.
And, of course, the coveted collector booster sample pack that could have an Overlord in it, but probably doesn't.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. I kind of forgot those existed.
Yeah, it's not the reason to buy the pack, but if there is a deck that you want, you technically could get greater value than what's in the deck.
Facts.
It's not like... It's not fair to not consider it. It's just also not really fair to consider it.
Yeah,
I have completely botched opening this. I've torn along the whole back. Like, I've torn it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Stop.
It's gonna... There we go. We got it.
Rip it up
We're
like
good.
Pop-Tart.
We're chilling. Scoopity-doo-dah. Alright. Trash gets tossed to Ashley. And here we go. Scheme cards. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. When will you learn?
Never.
When you first set this scheme in motion, each opponent exiles the top card of their library. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. That's pretty cool. Get a bunch of free spells from your opponents, essentially. When you set this scheme in motion, gain control of all non-land permanents your opponents control until end of turn.
Oh.
Untap those permanents. They gain haste until end of turn. Each of them attacks its owner this turn if able. Okay, so it's not quite as powerful as you can just, like, send everything one person's way and take them out of the game. But it's still kind of cool to say all of your stuff hurts you.
Dead.
That one was My Crushing Master Stroke, which is quite the name.
That's a name.
Fear My Authority. Ongoing scheme. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and have fear. At the beginning of your upkeep, abandon this scheme unless you discard a card or pay 3 life. And Fear says they can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures, which is very powerful. Reality is mine to control. Ongoing scheme. Whenever you cast a spell, you may abandon this scheme. If you do, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty cool. Just get a free copy, essentially, on your win.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Running is useless. When you set this scheme in motion, choose any number of creatures with different mana values and destroy those creatures. Pretty powerful. You exist only to amuse.
Yikes.
When you set this scheme in motion, choose one. If you control 6 or more lands, choose both instead. Create 3 1/1 red devil creature tokens. With when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Or, until your next turn, creatures your opponents control have base power and toughness 1/1 and lose all abilities.
Interesting.
Pretty powerful. I call for slaughter. When you set this scheme in motion, create 3 1/1 red devil creature tokens with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. They gain haste until end of turn. If a source you control would deal damage this turn, it deals that much damage +1 instead. That one's actually pretty weak. I mean, it's fine, but I think it's pretty... I'd say it's fairly weak. When you set this scheme in motion, choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. This is called I Will Savor Your Agony. I didn't read the last one, which is called I Call for Slaughter. I don't know if I read that one. I Will Savor Your Agony. You may destroy target creature, target player draws a card, or target player gains 5 life. Which is pretty cool that you get to like pick however many you want because it says choose 3. Your nightmares are delicious. I'm not sure Ashley's listening to this.
I am.
When you set this scheme in motion, each opponent who has more than 5 cards in hand discards cards equal to the difference. Then, if fewer than 3 cards are discarded this way, you draw 3 cards, which is pretty cool. And our last one, which is no secret is hidden from me. Oh, goodness. When you set this scheme in motion, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then, if you control 6 or more lands, repeat this process once, which is pretty cool. Those are all pretty fun. Arch Enemy is not something we have had the joy of playing yet, but it does seem pretty cool. All right. Here we go. Let's unravel the Valgavoth lore sheet here and see what we're getting into. Oh, okay, maybe not. He tried. The folding on this is pretty taut. Dear Lord.
Do you help?
I don't want to tear it, but I might. I mean, this is... There we go. We got it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You've been all about that recently.
I probably have. All right, that's the Arch Enemy stuff. Here we go. All right, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read this, but I'm just going to read it to you. Hopefully you can, but I think flattening it out and just reading it this way is probably going to be the easiest way. So.
Most likely.
All right. Valgavoth, Horror of Souls. Weak and greedy, centuries ago the moth-like demon Valgavoth heard whispered descriptions of himself from his imprisonment within the walls of the Vendrell mansion that weren't quite right. Valgavoth was not weak or greedy. He only wanted the power that he deserved and the space that he needed to stretch his wings.
Damn.
And decades ago, Valgavoth met Marina, Vendrell, a brilliant but troubled young woman in a similar position. They made a promise to solve each other's problems. He would curb his hunger, and she would rid herself of the 4 worst bullies from her school. This initial feeding is what allowed Valgavoth to grow. While unable to leave his confines in the house, he found instead that he could expand the walls outward, eventually across the entire plane. With Marina Vendrell safe in a bubble of unreality where she refuses to confront the horrors she has released upon the world, the house has become Duskmorn, and Duskmorn has become the house. Valgavoth is the walls, the floor, the ceiling, the sky, and there is no escape if he does not will it. Valgavoth amassed a cult that worships him and knows that he honors the right of 4, meaning that the demon will trade a boon to anyone who offers him 4 lives. He believes it's a fair trade, as he only ever wanted the power he deserved in the space that he needed, the multiverse itself.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a pretty cool lore description, not even gonna lie. Playing the deck, Valgavoth is hungry, and his favorite snack happens to be your life total, dealing damage to your opponents equally, making you the last one standing. Deploy a variety of nasty creatures that make everything your opponents do fire back at themselves. From drawing cards to casting spells, if you're up for a challenge, having Valgavoth as the arch enemy will put your survival skills to the test.
Interesting.
I am low-key getting more excited for this deck. Okay, so we read Valgavoth earlier, right? What Valgavoth wants to do, truly, is just... Oh, you're casting a creature, it deals a damage to you. Oh, you're casting a spell, it deals a damage to you. You know, because then, every time you do that, I'm drawing a card.
Yes.
Now, it's only when an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, but Valgavoth basically says, you better deal a damage to opponents on their turns at least once every turn.
Yeah. No,
because then you're drawing 3 cards before it gets back to your turn. which is pretty cool. And to be fair, you're putting a +1/+1 counter on him, and he has flying, so that's not nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, he's a card draw engine.
Oh yeah.
He's a opponents take damage for all sorts of reasons on their turn card draw engine. So let's... Was there a better way to open this? There probably was, but it's fine. Skadoosh. Shall we? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we toss our trash to the sides. We grab our pointless token, because we know how to play the game, and toss it to the side.
Period.
And then we grab the, 10 tokens on the back, because we can. We set Valgavoth off to the side, because we've already read him. We will put him in the command zone for thematic effect.
Absolutely.
Although, with the glare, you're not going to be able to read him, but you know what? It happens.
He's there.
And then we're going to take a look at our tokens, of which I believe all on this side are a 4/4 Vigilant Scarecrow. So we have 10 4/4 Vigilant Scarecrows.
That's scary.
And then on this side, we've got a 1/1 Human Soldier. 1/1 Devil that deals damage when it dies. 1/1 Devil that deals damage when it dies. 1/1 Devil, 1/1 Devil, 1/1 Devil, 1/1 Devil, 1/1 Devil, 1/1
I'm
Devil,
sensing
1/1
a
Devil.
theme.
Okay, cool. So we got one other token and then all Devils/Scarecrows. I'm thinking this deck doesn't make a lot of variety of token. But you know what? What's interesting, right? Yeah. When you look at the Eowyn deck, they gave you 3 of the humans that you end up making
crazy.
20 of. But this deck has 10 of these guys. I don't know. I feel like they did. I feel like what actually happened is this deck doesn't make a whole lot of tokens.
Yeah.
But they still had to include 10
Probably.
because every deck comes with 10. I feel like that's probably more likely what happened.
Most likely. Oh, this is creepy. I don't like this.
Let us.
I don't like this set.
Take a look at. Yeah, she just wants to play Bloomburrow.
I want to play cute shit. Okay.
Ooh, I went too far. Ooh, I went too far.
Wow.
We are past the basics.
Wow. Terrible.
That actually doesn't usually happen. Okay,
horrible.
I went 2 cards too far.
2 cards too far.
All right, in case you haven't seen them, these are the swamps from Duskmorn, which you should have seen because we've already opened stuff with black in it.
Literally.
And these are the mountains from Duskmorn, of which I don't think we've opened something with red.
No, we haven't.
So here are your first looks at the mountain of Duskmorn.
Crazy.
They're pretty, and I think they're nice. It also gives something for Ashley to sleeve.
It does. 100%.
Because she likes to stay busy over there.
I do.
Let's start talking cards. We're gonna
also, these are going in black sleeves, in case y'all are wondering.
Oh yeah.
I know y'all were so curious.
So here we go. Are we still doing the whole? Are we focusing correctly there, camera?
Let's see.
It does not appear so, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Bam! Deck list online.
Temple of the False God.
Crazy. A land.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what it does, taps for 2 only if you have 5 or more lands. It's basically ramp. That's what you should think of it as. Bam! Tainted Peak, which is actually I like these lands a little bit more. Taps for colorless, and then red or black, but only if you control a swamp. So if you're black heavier, but you still have red, this is actually a pretty good card, in my opinion. And it does not say a basic swamp. So if you happen to already have your dual land out or something like that, I mean, obviously not original dual land, but I mean a land that has the 2 types, then as long as you have a swamp in some form, you're good.
You're chilling.
Speaking of which, Leech-Ridden Swamp, which happens to be a swamp. It enters tapped, but you can pay a black and tap it. Each opponent loses 1 life.
Ooh.
Activate only if you control 2 or more black permanents.
Interesting.
But if you don't have a way to hurt someone on their turn, you could always activate that, get your card draw, get your +1/+1 counter.
100%.
That whole thing. So I see why it is in the deck. Geothermal Bog. Here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a dual land that enters tapped, right? Geothermal Bog enters tapped. It's a swamp mountain.
Got it.
The one thing that makes this better than your normal tap lands is that it's a swamp mountain. It has the land types. Evolving Wilds, I hope you know what it does by now. Sack, go get a land. Go get a basic, I should say. Sack, go get a basic. Bloodfell Caves is the life gain. It's a pretty cool art on the Bloodfell Caves, but it is just the life gain land. It's, if your deck isn't themed around life gain, the life gain lands can come out pretty quickly.
100%.
Witch's Clinic. This is a rare. Witch's Clinic. Land. Tapped out of colorless or pay to tap. Target commander gains lifelink until end of turn.
Okay, interesting.
That is a very interesting card. Pay 2 and tap it to give target commander lifelink. Temple of Malice enters tapped, and you scry one, so it is the Rakdos Scry land. Oh, that's another interesting thing. We don't open a ton of only 2-color decks.
We don't.
So there's not
this
gonna
is weird.
like there doesn't have to be multiple 2-color lands. Like it's only gonna be Rakdos lands because it's only a Rakdos deck.
True.
This is the Rakdos Pain land, so deal a damage to yourself if you want to tap for a black or a red. Those do enter untapped. They are very good lands. I stand by it. Spine Rock Knoll is the red land with Hideaway 4. So basically, when the land enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Hopefully you guys can see that, but if you can't, when the land enters, look at the top 4 cards, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom, and then later on, you can pay a red, tap this. You may play that exile card without paying its mana cost if an opponent was dealt 7 or more damage this turn. Pretty cool. I like being able to cast spells for free.
Right? It's a good time.
Smoldering Marsh. It enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basics, and it is a swamp mountain, so that's pretty cool. Rakdos land. Shivan Gorge is a legendary land, also a rare. Taps for a colorless, but you can pay 3, 2 and a red. Tap it. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, so this is another instant speed way to just
100%.
do a damage to people. This is the ideal deck for those like damage doublers and triplers, where it's like if it would deal damage, it deals double that instead. I feel like this is kind of the deck that wants to do that.
Yeah.
Shadow Blood Ridge, pay 1, tap, add a black and a red. So this is what we call a filter land, right?
Yes.
No. This is what we call a signet land.
Yes.
And you hate signet lands, don't you?
They're terrible.
Speaking of filter land, pay a black or a red, tap it, and you can add double black, double red, or a black red. This is the filter land. It's called Graven Cairns or something like that. I don't know. Flippity-doo-dah, Foreboding Ruins. As Foreboding Ruins enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or a mountain. So this is the Rakdos Reveal land. Wow, it can just have everything because it's only Rakdos, right? Exotic Orchard. I hope you know what it does. Tap to add a mana of a color that a land an opponent controls can produce. Dragon Skull Summit. Enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. It does not say a basic swamp or a mountain, so I like that one a lot, but it doesn't have the land types for what it's worth. Canyon Slough? I don't know. Swamp Mountain, tap to add a black or a red. It does enter tapped, but it has cycling. Honestly, the cycling lands are pretty powerful because if you draw that late game, you can just get a different card, which is pretty nice. Black Cleave Cliffs enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands, so you want this early on. It's a pretty good early play.
Absolutely.
Solemn Simulacrum, hashtag sad robot. Go get a land. When it dies, draw a card. Basilisk Collar. This one's pretty good. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink.
Oh.
It's pretty solid. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink. This is really powerful for the record. Equipped creature has Death Touch on something that like says tap it, this creature deals 1 damage to any target. Because since it's the creature dealing damage, the Death Touch applies. So you can just you can turn your pinger into kills anything.
Ooh, okay.
Basilisk Collar is worth a good something. I think it's at least $1 or $2. It's been reprinted a bunch lately. It used to be like $6.
I believe
because again, it gets Death Touch. You put it on pingers and it just goes out like crazy. Vile Smasher the Fierce. What a name.
That is a
One
name
and a Rakdos Goblin Berserker. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. Vile Smasher deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player or planeswalker or a planeswalker that player controls. It does have partner, so this is a partner commander that you could run. Very interesting there. Obviously, it's legendary because it has partner.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that part, but. Theater of Horrors. 1, an Rakdos enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. You can also pay 4, 3 and a red. Theater of Horrors deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalkers. This is another way to trigger your commander, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you're exiling cards. You might be able to play them this turn as long as you can deal damage, and I bet you can deal damage.
Probably.
Stormfist Crusader. This one's a fun one. Rakdos Human Knight Menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player, so you and the other players, draw a card and loses 1 life.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not great, but pretty good if you're wanting to deal damage to people. I should have been putting them there for you. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I was catching up on some roll skill things on YouTube Studio.
Flip-a-dee-doo-dah. I hope this is staying in focus. I haven't been looking. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe it's better you don't look.
Spiteful Visions, 2 and choose... I forget what they're called. Where you get to choose black or red. I forget.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
They have a name, and I don't remember what it is. Versatile? I don't know. Versatile Rakdos. At the beginning of each player's draw step. Also, half of this deck so far has just been the other Rakdos deck we have, which is like the Chaos one.
Yeah.
Because this is in Chaos, that other one's in Chaos, all of the good stuff. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. So everyone's drawing an additional card. Whenever a player draws a card, Spiteful Visions deals 1 damage to that player.
Ooh, interesting.
Which, for the record, includes yourself. There's a reason. Ooh. There's a reason why Valgavoth.
Yeah.
Well, you might want to give it lifelink with the Basilisk Collar.
Yeah.
Because this could go poorly quickly.
100%.
Spiteful Visions, pretty cool though. Pretty good way to trigger Valgavoth. I actually like this.
That's a really cool border on the enchantment.
This deck so far. Yeah, I think that's neat.
Because both colors.
Rakdos, Lord of Riots. 2 black, 2 red, mythic, 6/6 demon. You can't cast spells this turn. Wait. You can't cast spells unless an opponent lost life this turn. That's not good.
That's not fun.
Flying Trample. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn.
Ooh.
That is very good. Interesting trade-off on that one. I like this deck is interesting.
I can tell.
Karavek the Merciless. 5 and Rakdos, very expensive. Human Shaman 5/4. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, Karavek the Merciless deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target. Very powerful. Because they're going to want to cast spells, and you're going to just snipe things. Also, if you put Basilisk Collar on him, now he just snipes anything for anything.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Pretty cool stuff there. Florian Voldaren Scion. Jesus Christ, these vampires have ridiculous names.
Yeah.
1 in Rakdos.
You gotta be extravagant for your vampire.
Noble, 3/3 first strike. At the beginning of your second main phase. God, Magic cards have way too many words on them. Look at the top X card to your library, where X is the total amount of life your opponents lost this turn. Exile 1 of those cards and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exile card this turn.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Tectonic Giants. Not surprised to see this here. 4 mana, 3/4. Whenever it attacks or becomes the target of a spell, choose 1. You can deal 3 damage to each opponent, or exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose 1 until the end of your next turn. You may play that card.
Cool.
Pretty good. Yep, pretty good stuff. Not surprised to see it at all. Rampaging Ferocidon. Dinosaur 3/3 Menace. Players can't gain life. That affects you as well, but just to say everyone else ain't gaining life. Because to be fair, your biggest problem with this deck is a life gain deck.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're doing like 1, and then 3, and then 4, and then they're just like gain 7, gain 8, gain 12. And it's like, I can't beat that. Players can't gain life. Whenever another creature enters, Rampaging... Ooh, this is like the opposite. Whenever another creature enters, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller.
Oof.
That's pretty cool. You play that against a token deck, and they're just like, crap.
Like, well, shit, I'm gonna sit
I play Heir Apparent, make 12 rabbits. I hit myself for 12. Harsh Mentor. 1 and a red human cleric. I'm so sorry if I shook the table there a whole lot. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or land, if it isn't a mana ability, this deals 2 damage to that player.
Okay.
Again, take damage for everything you do. That's what this deck wants to do. Enchanter's Bane, 1 and a red enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, target enchantment deals damage equal to its mana value to its controller unless that player sacrifices it.
Okay.
It's pretty powerful. It's at your end step. So not all of these are getting the whole do damage on their turn, but some of them are. Combustible Gear Hulk, we've seen this one a lot. This is a 6 mana 6/6 first strike. Whenever it enters, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't let you draw 3 cards, instead you mill 3 cards, and it deals damage to that player equal to the mana value of the 3 cards milled. So if you mill like...
I'm letting you draw cards.
If you mill like 11 in mana value. You know, imagine this, but you are upgrading the deck so you have like a double damage thing out.
Oh,
so
terrible.
You mill 9 mana value worth, so they take 18.
Ooh.
Crazy.
Disgusting.
Crazy. Flippity-doo-dah. Chaos Warp, this is classic. 2 and a red, owner of target permanent, shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card. If it's permanent, they put it onto the battlefield. The lovely thing about Chaos Warp is that you shuffle first.
Yeah.
So there's like a 1 in 90 something chance or 80 something chance that you get the same card back.
Yeah.
Because you shuffle first, which is just so funny. This is upside down. Let it be known, packaged upside down.
Oh, interesting.
A mountain.
Oh.
Way late.
Huh.
I'd like to point that out. Hopefully that's meant to be a mountain. Brash Taunter, 4 and a red. Indestructible 1/1. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a target opponent, and it's indestructible, so it's a great blocker. 2 and a red, tap, and it fights another target creature. Another, by the way, it's a 1/1. Yeah. Another great, because it can make it fight other things. Another great option for Basilisk Collar.
Absolutely.
Because you can make it fight other things, and it has Death Touch, and then it deals damage to the opponent that controls it. So powerful. What's wrong?
I was looking to see how many minutes have been.
We are at like 30 for the episode, almost. Blasphemous Act, you know what it does. 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, and it deals 13 damage to each creature. Nightshade Harvester, Elf Shaman, 4 mana 2/2. Whenever a land an opponent controls enters, that player loses 1 life. So this says, playing lands, huh? Lose some life.
Damn.
It really is take damage for everything you do. Massacre Worm, this is a good one. 6 mana, 6/5. Whenever it enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. And then, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. If you're going up against like Heir Apparent and they haven't been buffed, and they're all 1/1s, and this kills like 18 of them, it deals 36 damage to the opponent that lost all those creatures.
This mountain was supposed to be there.
It was?
It was meant to be there. We're not missing a card. I checked. I counted the number of mountains we had.
Cool. Massacre Girl, 5 mana, 4/4 menace, human assassin. Whenever she enters, each other creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. I'm starting to see where Massacre Worm came from. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So this is basically a board wipe.
Yep.
If you can kill something with the -1/-1, it can like stack.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
really cool. Mask of Gristlebrand. 1 and 2 black equipment. Equipped creature has flying and lifelink. Whenever equipped creature dies, you may pay X life, where X is its power. If you do, draw X cards. Equip 3. That's pretty intense. Gristlebrand, for those of you that don't know, is a card that is banned in Commander. Because it says, like, pay 5 life or pay 7 life at instant speed, draw 5 or 7 cards, one of the two. That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's at instant speed, so if someone's like, I remove it, they just go, okay, in response, I activate it 3 times and draw like 15 or 21 cards, whatever it is. It's so broken. And sure, I think it's like 8 mana, but we have Entomb and Reanimate. So really, it's 2 mana. You know what I mean? I'm going to assume you know what I mean.
Yep.
Well, I asked, and you didn't
I'm
respond.
sorry, I was leaving cards.
Cataract Parasite, 1 mana, 1/1. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if you control a red permanent, you may have Cataract Parasite deal 1 damage to that player. So this is particularly good in Rakdos. I was like, ooh, a cheap horror, but it's not great in the horror deck because that doesn't have red. Fate Unraveler, 3 and a black hag, enchantment creature. Whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to that player. Once more, you want to draw cards, you want to play lands, you want to play creatures, take damage for all of them. Pretty powerful. Decree of Pain. 6 and 2 black, destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. Or you can cycle it for 3 and 2 black. Whenever you cycle Decree of Pain, all creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Honestly, I mean, 8 mana is expensive, but if you destroy like 12 creatures with this and you draw 12 off of it, that's a pretty good play. It's a pretty good board wipe, in my opinion. I'm tired of reading. Braids, Arisen Nightmare.
We are maybe halfway through the deck.
Yeah, I know. I told you it's going to be a long one. These cards have so much words on them.
So much words.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing.
No, Do you want to make 2 videos? What do you want to do?
No!
Well, you just seem really...
Keep going!
You seem really upset that the video's so long.
I'm not.
You've seen it.
I'm not, I swear.
Okay, you're commenting on it now for the 2nd time.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that it's not bothering you.
It's not. I had been on my phone doing rule school stuff, so I didn't know how long we'd been doing this for.
3 mana, 3/3, Nightmare. At the beginning of your end step, you may sack an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker.
Damn.
If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, what?
Dead. Go.
That player loses 2 life and you draw a card.
I mean, just destroy land and then...
Ain't
nobody gonna do that.
Okay, again, doesn't say non-token, right? So this is the kind of thing where, like, you could destroy, or you could, like, destroy
No, but then they have to destroy one of that type. And if they don't...
Or they lose 2 life and you draw a card.
Yeah,
so
true.
you sack your reassembling skeleton. And just go, anybody? Mogus, God of Slaughter. Legendary enchantment creature, God, indestructible. As long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, it isn't a creature. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player unless they sack a creature. Woo! Cool, so it gets your damage trigger unless they sack a creature. That's pretty good. Bedevil, 2 black and a red. Instant, destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Just good, remove. Seance board, 2 mana artifact, Morbid. So we had Morbid by now, apparently.
Yay!
At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn... Oh, each end step. If a creature died this turn, put a soul counter on Seance board. Then you can tap at X mana of any one color, where X is the number of soul counters on Seance board.
That's gonna be a lot.
Spend this mana only to cast instant, sorcery, demon, and spirit spells. So if it's in like a demon tribal deck, that's a very good artifact for like demon tribal.
That is...
Star Athlete, 1 and 2 red, human warrior, 3/2 menace. Whenever it attacks, choose up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller may sacrifice it. If they don't, Star Athlete deals 5 damage to that player. It has Blitz. 3 and a red. If you pay its Blitz cost, it gains haste. And then whenever this creature dies, draw a card, sack it at the beginning of the next end step.
So many words.
That's a lot of words, yeah. Okay, we have a room. I don't know if you guys can read that, because it's a room.
It's a room.
Spiked Guard door costs 4. When you unlock this door, create 3 of those devils. I'm not reading the whole thing again.
No.
Torture Pit, 3 and a red. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So that's pretty good. Now those devils do 3 instead of 1. That's actually pretty powerful. That makes those devils a lot better.
God, the words are so small.
Gleeful Arsonist. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Gleeful Arsonist deals damage equal to its power to that player. And it has Undying, so it can come back as a 2/3 instead of a 1/2. Again, you want to cast non-creature spells? Take damage.
Literally.
Barb Flare Gremlin. Oh my god, I'm losing it, y'all. I almost said Fire Strike instead of First Strike, because there's fire on the card. First Strike, Haste, Gremlin, 3/2. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if Barbfire Gremlin is tapped, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Then, that land deals 1 damage to that player. Oh, you want to tap your lands for mana? Take damage.
Damn. They really said, get bricked.
That's actually a pretty good card.
That is.
Suspended Sentence. God, I don't want to read this. 3 and a black. It has Suspend 3 for 1 and a black, which means that you can pay that, exile it, and put 3 time counters on it. Destroy target creature an opponent controls. That player loses 3 life. Exile, Suspend Sentence with 3. Oh, so it, like, repeats itself.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It's like a repeated destroy target creature, and they take some damage spell. Starting with the next opponent in turn order, each player chooses a creature you don't control. Destroy the chosen creatures. I like that. 5 mana, destroy 4 creatures, all of which are creatures you don't control.
That's a weird art.
Persistent Constrictor. I should just pick this up at this point. Anyways, 4 and a black, creature, Zombie Snake. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they lose 1 life, and you put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature they control. And it has Persist. If it dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, the -1/-1 counter on it. Persist, by the way, is one of the things that makes a lot of infinite combos. Because when it comes back with a -1/-1, if you can give it a +1/+1, they cancel. And then you can kill it again, and it'll come back because of Persist. Infinite combos away. Ash Barrens, it's a land. Yay, moving on.
Praise.
Thought Vessel, great. Tap for a colorless, no maximum hand size. Talisman of Indulgence, it's a talisman for red-black. Rakdos Cygnus, it's the signet for Rakdos. Mind Stone, but with some pretty cool art. I gotta hand it to it. 2, tap for a colorless, you can pay, sack it, draw a card.
Okay, that is
Felwar Stone, tap to add a mana of a color that a land an opponent controls can produce. Rakdos Charm. I love Rakdos Charm. Exile target player's graveyard. Okay, great, but not great. Destroy target artifact. Could be useful. And then, if all else fails, each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. FU token decks. And I actually like token decks, but I do think that card is good because it's a nice way to counter token decks. Biggest problem is when you play that against a token deck where the tokens have lifelink. So then they do a damage to their controller, but they have lifelink, so it does nothing.
Yeah, it's just like, alright, well that cancels out. Cool,
Mayhem Devil,
Good
1, a red and a black devil. Whenever a player sacks a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. Oh, you want to sack your permanents? Take damage.
You want to do shit? Take damage.
Oh, look at this! Cardor Doomscourge. It's literally the commander
Yeah.
of the deck. Did you know that was in there? You knew that was in this deck? How'd you know that was in this deck?
I snuck a peek. I had to go find Valgavoth for the thumbnail.
Cardor Doomscourge. Great. When it enters until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you control. The reason it's in here, whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that's not just against you. If they're attacking other people and their creatures die, great. They take damage.
Dead.
2 and a red. Spectacle. Sorcery. I don't know what Spectacle means. You may cast this for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. Great. So for 1 red, hopefully, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of turn. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Great. It's kind of a draw spell. It's, what do we call it? Impulse draw.
Yes.
Sir Conrad. 5/4 for 5. Whenever creatures die, go to the graveyard, come out of the graveyard, deal a damage. You can pay to mill, yada yada. Sign in Blood is 2 mana, draw 2, lose 2. But hey, pretty good. Morbid Opportunist is a 3 mana human rogue. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn.
True.
Meh. The triggers only once each turn isn't great.
No.
Infernal Grasp. Destroy target creature, but you lose 2 life at instant speed for 2 is fine. I don't hate that. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Good old Gary is like the win con in a lot of decks. Basically, it's like when it enters, each opponent loses life equal to X, and you gain life equal to the amount of life lost this way, and X is your devotion to black. But then you basically like sack him and bring him back, sack him and bring him back, so then people like lose
Like crap.
45 life and you gain like 100, you know, that sort of thing. Good on Grey Merchant, good on Gary. Falcon Wrath Noble, Vampire Noble, 4 mana flying. Whenever it or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's significantly better for this deck. Blood Artist, a classic. Honestly, the fact that this uncommon is still worth a good bit is awesome. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I love that it's target player, so you can just like screw someone over. Bastion of Remembrance, 2 and a black. When Bastion of Remembrance enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. That's the reason it's in here. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Ooh, okay.
Great. Command Tower, but the fancy Duskmorn one. It does look good, I'll give it that much. Soul Ring, but the fancy Duskmorn one. It does look good, I'll give it that much. Lightning Greaves, but a fancy Duskmorn one. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like Lightning Greaves. That's neat.
That is cool.
Arcane Signet, but it's the fancy Duskmorn one. I like that they're doing the set-specific art
Me
for these.
too.
I think that's really neat. Feed the Swarm. I don't think I've seen this version of that card before, and it actually, like, legit, no Magic card to my knowledge has done this. That gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh no, now I gotta look at it.
Destroy target creature or enchantment and opponent controls, but you lose life equal to the permanent's mana value. He's being eaten by centipedes.
No. I don't wanna look at it.
You got it, baby. You got it. I believe in you. 1 and a black, Bloodseeker, Vampire Shaman. There's the card. Whenever a creature an opponent controls enters, you may have that player lose 1 life. You want creatures to enter? Get life taken away. Blood Pact, instant speed, 3 mana. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Great. Just more ways to draw cards. Love it. Terramorphic Expanse. Sack it. Go get a basic. You should know what it does by now. Grab the Prize. What is this? 1 and a red, sorcery, and additional cost cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. If the discarded card wasn't a land, grab the prize, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Great. Lovely. Get some damage. Oh. Fear of Burning Alive. So Duskmorn did these like fear creatures. This one is Fear of Burning Alive. Pretty terrifying art here. 4 and 2 red. You're not going to kill it. Enchantment creature, Nightmare. When it enters, it deals 4 damage to each opponent, and then it has Delirium. So Delirium says, whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, This is the delirium part. If there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, Fear of Burning Alive deals that amount of damage to target creature that player controls. So,
got it.
You know, decent, not horrible. All right, and then we get to the big one. People like the alt commander here. The Lord of Pain. 3 and a black and a red and like a bunch of screens or windows or something. This guy looks pretty cool. 5/5 human assassin menace legendary creature. Your opponents can't gain life. Significantly better than players can't gain life.
Yeah.
Whenever a player casts their first spell each turn, choose another target player. The Lord of Pain deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to the chosen player.
Oof.
That's pretty cool. We did it! We survived! It's been like a 43-minute video, but you know what? We made it.
Still not done.
We're not done.
A pack to open.
We have a pack to open, but you know what?
Open.
We're going to set our... Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he's thick.
We're going to set the deck down here. You know what? We're not going to do the first shuffle to save time, and it really doesn't do a whole lot for these videos, but... dying out here. We will leave Vagabond right there. It is time to crack open this collector booster sample. God, don't do
Crack
this. Don't do this. Okay, cool. He got it. It opened. Yay.
He's dying.
And shablam, it's a token.
Oh, no.
All right, I don't remember which one of these is which, but I'm just going to go with this one first. It is an uncommon Fear of Infinity. 1, a blue and a black enchantment creature nightmare. It is foiled, by the way.
Got it.
Enchantment creature nightmare. Flying lifelink. It can't block. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, you may return it from your graveyard to your hand.
What do you think it's worth?
It's fine. I'm going to say foiled. It's worth 20 cents.
6.
6 cents. Great.
Yeah.
And our rare or mythic, Shkabloomy. Nope. Silent Hall Creeper. 1 and a blue. Silent Hall Creeper can't be blocked. Whenever Silent Hall Creeper deals combat damage to a player, choose one that hasn't been chosen.
Ooh.
Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Draw a card, or it becomes a copy of another target creature you control.
I don't like this.
This is the full art, by the way. It's the full art of the Silent Hall Creeper.
Foiled or not?
It is not. It's just the full art.
Okay, what's it worth?
Just the full art. I actually really like this horror, but I think we already have one of it. Full art, I'm going to say $1.12.
$1.68.
Hey, we hit value. Everyone go, woo.
Woo.
Everyone go, we're done with the Duskmorn set.
Praise the Lord.
Everyone go, I just saw the camera was freezing. Oh, God. Okay, well, Ripperoni Pepperoni, if you guys can't see this, we're not redoing the video.
Nope.
But this will get a sleeve because it's over $1. Honestly, I do want to upgrade my horror deck at some point, and this is a must-have in this deck because that deck wants you to get through with horrors so that people mill, and, oh, wait, it can't be blocked. Mwah.
Wild. I hate this art. I hate art in this set.
And there we have it. You know what? We'll set these out for the very end. Whatever. Words aren't wording. Oh, God. Okay. Things have, shifted and everything. It has been an episode. All right. This is how you know we've been recording for too long, because we've recorded, this is, fifth? No, sixth video.
Sixth video today.
Sixth video. Oh, my goodness. All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being so awesome. What we want to know is what you think of this deck down in the comments below. Give it a rating from 0 or 1, I guess, I don't know, to 10, and let us know what you think. We're going to give it our rating. So for me, I'm excited. I think it's cool. I don't hate the art of Duskmorn. I just don't love it. So I'm going to give it I'm excited for this more than I thought I would. I'm going to give it a 7. 7 out of 10 for me. Ashley, hit it with the 2. 5. Oh, okay. 5.
No, it's getting 3. I hate horror. Hate it.
We're not ranking it on power. We're ranking it on how much you like the deck. So you're going to give it a 3?
I'm giving it a 3.
I mean, she hates horror. She hates Rakdos. She hates doing damage to people. She wants to sit there in the corner with her big creatures that gain life and go, I make big numbers. Don't be afraid of me.
I'm like, oh, forget that I'm sitting here.
Don't you worry. Yeah, she's like the not gonna talk at the table type so that you don't target her, right?
Am. It happens in the game store all the time.
If you talk less, you're targeted less, right? She's gonna sit there with her smothering tithe and just kind of give you that glance of, do you pay it?
No, literally.
And when you don't pay the 2, she just
treasure.
Ticks up her treasure tokens over there, right? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome. We can't wait to read the comments down below where you tell us what you think of this deck, but I'm excited to play it, and Ashley doesn't have to, but she is going to have it played against her, and that could be brutal. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you so much. That is all we have for you, but we do hope you have an awesome time until next time. However, until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.